Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
From budget cuts in higher education and reforms in primary schools to integrating immigrants into Greek society, as a new government takes office, we visit Athens to take a look at some of the big issues facing the country's education system. Up to 80% budget cuts in higher education and low employment prospects have prompted many Greek students to take to the streets and protest. What is the situation now? To find out, we visit the University of Athens, which this year is facing a deficit of close to €5 million.
Many students have taken to the streets, protesting against austerity measures and educational reforms that have been taken by consecutive governments. Now a new anti-austerity party is in power. It promises a new higher education law that could improve things. Many are still not very optimistic.
No, I don't think things will get much better in the near future. I believe we'll have a problem for the next decade. I don't know if it has to do with the current government. It's obviously a political issue. We're facing critical times.
Budget cuts, massive staff downsizing for administrative and cleaning workers, lack of heating and laboratories are just a few of the consequences of austerity measures on higher education in Greece. The University of Athens is one example of an institution that's facing a deficit of close to €5 million in 2015. The new government secured a Eurozone bailout extension for 4 months, but will there be any extra funding for universities?
It
is harsh to say no. There is a hope that we will be able to save some resources to assist universities, as well as the whole education system. Because, as I said, it is a commitment of the government at the first level. Whatever can be saved will be allocated to health and education.
A new rector took office at this university. He's faced with huge challenges to secure money and resources. One of his ideas is replacing expensive heating oil with natural gas. But what about the other major problems?
It is a very serious condition that we are facing. We try to see whether we can decrease our expenses and also to see whether we will be able to generate some income from different funds, either European funds for research or from other places. We have a plan to restructure our facilities.
Athens is in the global top 500 list of universities according to the 2014 World Universities Ranking. Some fear that budget cuts could affect the quality of education. The media department was deemed the best in southern Europe, and its president expressed deep concerns.
The absence of research funds, the absence of funding to participate in and organise conventions to present research findings, not only are making our academic work more difficult, but in reality they are hurting the position of our universities in international rankings.
Unemployment rates have soared during the recent crisis. The university is organising some workshops on employment to try and help, and postgraduate studies are on the rise amongst students who think that more qualifications can get them a job.
Here in Greece, it's very difficult to progress in my subject, computer science, but having participated in the Erasmus programme, there is more hope abroad than here.
High brain drain rates are yet another consequence of the economic crisis in Greece. Many young people who are financially hard-pressed and who have no hope of a career are increasingly leaving the country.
Reforms have already been put in place to make Greek schools more student-friendly, such as developing ICT and extracurricular activities. But are they making a difference, and how do teachers manage with limited resources? We find out in this report.
According to a 2012 report by the OECD, Greek students ranked below average in reading, maths and sciences on PISA tests. This computer classroom in Moschatos' third elementary school was developed 5 years ago as part of a curriculum reform to make schools more student-friendly. Putting the right reform in place was one step forward, but many challenges remain.
What we do is we improvise. For example, the fact the students don't have textbooks providing a reference point, we instead give them notes on a notepad.
In this classroom, for example, 25 children have to share only 10 computers. If one of the devices gets damaged, there's no money to replace it.
Πάγιο αίτημα των συνδικάτων.
The unions and teachers have always demanded a better infrastructure because it enables the teachers to better present their subjects.
Κάνει το μάθημα να παρουσιάσει το μάθημα.
Amongst the other reforms were teaching English from the first grade and other foreign languages from grade 5, extension of the schedule by 1 hour and extending the number of hours for extracurricular activities like theatre, arts and physical education.
I like learning how to work with the computer because I believe we can use that in the future. I would like to have a science lab so that we can do experiments for physics.
Many parents have welcomed the move, but in such a high-tech world, some might wonder if schools are still lagging behind the modern world's demands.
The extracurricular activities like English and ICT or theatrical education, things that didn't happen in the past, show that there has been some improvement in this field.
Schools demand more money to improve the quality of education. Politicians keep budgets tight, but maybe they have space for an innovation-driven education reform.
A recent influx of immigrants has forced Greece to reform its education systems. One of the approaches is to integrate these people into societies through intercultural education. Let's have a look at how that could work.
Despite the economic crisis, immigrants keep pouring into Greece. The Balkans has been one of the main sources of displaced people seeking refuge in Greece. Today, armed conflicts in Syria and Iraq have spurred a new wave of immigration. This flow is challenging a divided political system on the issue of tackling immigration policies. Khan is an accessories seller and student.
I went to a normal school because I wanted to go to school, but the white Greek children told me that I couldn't stay there. I also didn't have any official papers. They would call me Paki and laugh at me. That was a problem for me.
Khan had to move to a multicultural school with a mix of students from Albania, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria and others. Athens' second intercultural high school is one of the institutions dedicated to immigrants with a special curriculum that's been developed to help them integrate into society.
In general, we don't face big problems. There are some political groups who don't agree with having so many Muslim immigrants here. But both as a neighbourhood and at school, we don't face any problems.
While the main challenge these students face is the language, schools have dedicated extra hours for the Greek alphabet and extracurricular activities that could help them make the best use of their cultures to find common ground.
Arts can help fill the gaps caused by the children's lack of knowledge in terms of the language. Through art, they can express what they cannot say.
At this school, educators are improvising with an intercultural majority of students. It's one of many examples of public schools in Greece that have not yet adopted the integration curriculum officially. Stella's a retired teacher who's fought against all odds to help solve the problems that immigrants face by doing workshops at schools. In this lesson, she encourages pupils to speak about events that have made them feel different.
We respected and took advantage of the mother tongues and culture of all the children in the school's daily life, be they Greeks or immigrants. We held language lessons in Arabic and Albanian for the children who wanted to learn the mother tongues of the immigrants.
The Education Ministry says that the issue of immigrants is at the top of its agenda. Some measures are being taken to help tackle their problems.
What is your experience of the education system in Greece? Has your education also been affected by austerity measures? Share your thoughts with us on our social media pages. Goodbye from Athens.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.